Greetings, friends, and welcome to Miracle Mind with Kwana. I'm Kwana, and some of you might remember a movie called What the Bleep? What the Bleep Do We Know? Came out in the early 2000s. I believe it was, I don't know, maybe 2003 or 4. It also had a sequel, and both movies delved into the power of the mind and some quantum physics, quantum mechanics. And what I want to talk about today, though, is one of the main teachers that was featured, I think, in both movies. His name is Fred Wolfe, and he is a physicist, a very well-known physicist. And one of the things he said that I found so impressive and so thought-provoking and also essential to a deep spiritual journey or spiritual awakening is when he says at the very end, I believe, of the first movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. And, that's what I want to talk about today in this video. The reason that's, to me, so important is because when you're on a deep awakening journey, which I have shared, I am on, uh, I've been on a deep awakening journey we really all of us are really on an awakening journey because we're taught that we all are destined to remember God, to remember spirit, to remember who we are, to remember that we are made in spirit and that we're loving beings, right? But clearly, we need a lot of help in remembering that and allowing that to shine through us and allowing our lives to be miraculous because we have minds that have become healed, minds that think in a loving way as opposed to a fearful way, which is what a miracle is. So the idea, though, that don't take my word for it, find out for yourself. I believe what Mr. Wolfe was encouraging us to do was to literally find out for ourselves. We are living in a world where we're taught from a very young age that we have to listen to what everyone else tells us, right? Not not only in our family of origin, if we seem to be in that kind of a circumstance, but everything in the outside world telling us how to think, what to believe, how to live our lives. And if we get to a point where we get tired of that and we want to go within, but we need help in trusting the process, trusting what we can't see, trusting this feeling of love inside of us, right? So we look to teachers, spiritual teachers, we look to advisors, we look to all kinds of things. And particularly now in the modern era in 2025, there is just an unlimited amount of ways to find spiritual information, spiritual advice. I'm on YouTube myself sharing about spiritual ideas. But when Dr. Wolfe says, don't take my word for it, find out for yourself, he means look at all the information, study all the books, apply all the knowledge that you can, but you really want to find out for yourself experientially. The only way that you can find out about spiritual ideas, whether they're true or not, is to experience them. And A Course in Miracles makes that very clear. A Course in Miracles makes it very clear that you're not here. It tells you as the student that you're not here to analyze what it's saying. You're here to apply the ideas. And it's through the applying the ideas that you will see that they are true. Now, you don't have to be a student of A Course in Miracles. That's my spiritual path. But Source, God doesn't care what we use. God doesn't care what form it takes or what it takes to get us to turn back to that awareness of who we really are and having that live out in our lives in a practical way. So the way you find out for yourself is by doing it. Is not just pontificating, not just listening to other people talk about their experiences. You really want to become curious enough, and I mean spiritually curious, not curious about the world. We all know about the world. What we want to be is curious, so curious about this spark within us that wants to find out if this stuff is really true. So perhaps whatever skepticism that might be there in one's mind can be the spark, the catalyst into finding out for yourself. Don't just take someone else's words for it. I don't care what kind of testimony they give. I don't care what they're saying. I don't care what kind of miracles they're talking about or manifestations. I don't talk about manifestations on this channel because I come to understand that manifestation is really the purpose of it is to discover the power of our minds. But the problem with taking manifestation too far is that when we think we know what we want, we try to manifest things based on what we think we want. That's really not a good idea. Okay, we really want to hand over our desires to spirit, right? But getting back to this idea of finding out for yourself, that is how you become convicted. That is how you become convinced. When you are ready to take that leap of faith in whatever form best serves you. I don't care if you're using the Bible. I don't care if you're using the Bhagavad Gita. I don't care if you're using A Course in Miracles. I don't care if you're using the Yoga Sutras. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're meditating for 2 hours a day. You want to get in there and find out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to repeat what dear Dr. Fred Wolfe said at the end of What the Bleep Do We Know? Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. And that's very important. It's very simple and it's very direct. Find out for yourself. If you really want to find out if any of this stuff is true, you're not going to unless you experience it. You can't just sit back, and lean back and watch everybody else. I don't care how many memes you watch, you read on social media, or how many YouTube videos you watch, or documentaries, or self-help books you read. You have to get in there, apply the ideas that make sense to you, and then you will find out for yourself, whether it's through prayer or meditation or whatever it is, deep contemplation. It doesn't matter. Whatever resonates to you. But do it. Find out for yourself. Don't just take someone's word for it. I don't care how many degrees they have or how wonderful they may seem to be as a teacher. That's all beautiful. But I'm telling you right now, don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. And if you have a question about that and what I mean by finding out for yourself, or if you've experienced taking that leap and discovering that these spiritual ideas that we're talking about here, that I'm talking about here, are actually meaningful, are actually healing, and actually change the way you look at the world, which ignites miracles, let me know in the comments. And I'd love it if you're new here to click subscribe to the channel, or click like. And remember, we're not here to just, blindly follow. We need to find out for ourselves. Many blessings.